Unfiltered, the official Sunderland AFC podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Unfiltered, sponsored by Alpha Security. Myself, Frankie Francis, and former player Danny Collins find ourselves in the media lounge at the Stadium of Light. The lads have just come off the pitch. They've been doing an open training session, Danny.
Yeah. No, it was good, enjoyable. Yeah, watched it. Brought me two lads along to watch the session. And
a lot of people brought their people along.
They did, yeah. It was a great turnout. 4,000 or so, I think
it was.
Unbelievable. I said to my boys, a lot of clubs lower down the leagues don't get this for a match day, and we've got that for...
That's a good point.
You know, a mid school break turnout for the fans. No, it was great, and it's one of those sessions what they put on, I think, where you play to the crowd, really, 3v3s, open five-a-sides and stuff, but it was enjoyable for the lads.
We'll ask Alex about that, won't we?
Can do, yeah.
See how similar that was to a normal training session. Obviously, you're doing your coach's badges right now. Yes. From what you saw out there, Tony Mowbray has got it all going on, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, and I noticed he had a quick chat with you.
Yes,
ran
he did.
The crowd through what was going on the touchline.
He wandered off with the microphone to inform the crowd what was going on, so I couldn't hear pitch side. But what was he saying? What were the drills they were doing?
Yeah, he was trying to go through the drills, possession, 3v3s, as I said there, finishing with a game, bit of shooting as well. Just the stuff what the lads enjoy doing, really. And what's good for the crowd to come and watch. But no, it's good. And say at the end of the session, the lads came over, signing autographs, pictures with the fans. And off the back of it, a disappointing result at the weekend as well. So
yeah, how did you feel the game went at the weekend? The oldest cliche in football is a game of two halves, and we saw exactly that, didn't we?
Yeah, we said that straight after the game at the weekend. It was, I thought, first off, obviously excellent, good tempo about us, stifled Burnley, stopped them playing. You know, a team who were going really well, having come down from the Premier League. And we go in 2-0 up at the break. But we said, didn't we, you expect them to come out after the break. Vincent Kompany would have got amongst them in the changing rooms. And they did. They upped it. They pressed us a little bit higher. Listen, they could go through the goals. There were some individual errors perhaps, but that's what happens in football. Just hope it doesn't affect the boys too much because, overall we've had a good start to the season. A third of the way through now, sat in a pretty good position. Go down to Luton at the weekend, who have come off a bit of a hiding themselves. So it's been an interesting one, but we need to get back to winning ways.
Right, we'll find out all about how that game went and plenty more as we approach our conversation with Alex Pritchard. Welcome to SAFC Unfiltered. Alex Pritchard. How are you, Alex? You've just came off the pitch there. You've been doing the open training session. Have you done anything like that before?
Yeah, done it plenty of times. I think it's always good to connect with the fans and they can see what we actually do, because obviously they just see match days and stuff like that. So I just think watching us train and what we actually do is quite nice to connect with the fans and then see them after. So. And
was that like a normal training session the fans saw out there, or was there anything special, for the fans watching? Was that what it would be on a Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, no, literally that was a training session. That would be what we'd do at the training ground. It's obviously no midweek game, so it's probably a tougher session that we would do, because obviously we've got a game on Saturday and obviously today's a Tuesday, so we've got to get it in our legs and obviously keep the fitness up, and then obviously got a big game coming up. So
off tomorrow as well then, Al, is it?
Yeah.
Usually after a Tuesday,
yeah. Off tomorrow.
So you missed all the doggies at the end of the session because the fans were waiting for the autographs then, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, so no doggies. We just day off tomorrow, rest up, recover, and then obviously go Thursday, Friday, and then into a big game that we got.
Yes, big games, thick and fast. Obviously you played at this level and higher before, but what have you made of Sunderland's championship season so far?
Pretty good considering obviously coming off the back of last year. Look, we finished 5th in League One, and we had to go, 16, 17 unbeaten or whatever it was, just to get out of the league. So it was really good from the lads. I think the fans played a massive part and stuck with us. I said before, previously in interviews, there's going to be up and downs in the season, which there was definitely last year. Is there going to be ups and downs this year? 100%. We've already had it. We've had injuries.
We had it in 90 minutes at the weekend, didn't we?
Of course we did. That was a tough one to take, and I think the fans weren't obviously happy with it. I think we've been 2-0 up here before, and QPR, prime example, they score a good free kick from Ilias, and a goalkeeper comes up and scores an equaliser. Look, it's just football.
Freaky one, wasn't it?
It was a freak one, and look, the fans obviously unhappy, but look, they stuck with us. And then obviously the weekend is totally different. You're 2-0 up, you're cruising in the game, you're playing against probably one of the best footballing sides, one of the best teams in the league. You're 2-0 up, and it was quite comfortable, really. And then second half things happened, and look, it wasn't good enough on our part. Like, the fans could be moaning about it, but we know as a team that it just wasn't good enough. But look, it's still a young team. They're still learning. Even myself, I'm still getting to know each other. We've got a lot of injuries. It's really difficult, but look, we're doing all right.
Where would you put yourself then, Al, in terms of, I know you're 29, you look through the team, and as a young team, what's come in this season is fairly young. If you look through the spine of the team, obviously you've got yourself, Corey in there, Danny Barton, obviously Bailey, that's the sort of senior lads really, isn't it? And then a lot of younger lads in there as well. Do you see yourself as that sort of father figure as well now then around the team, and especially after something like what happened at the weekend, do you have to try and get around the younger boys?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously the bounce back is massive. We've obviously lost a couple of games now. And you don't want to obviously get in that momentum. You want the other side of it. You want to win a couple of games. We hadn't even won back-to-back games this year, and everyone's saying, "Oh, we've started well," and we've been like, "Oh, it's been good," but we haven't won back-to-back games, and now we've lost back-to-back games. I think it is so, and then we go to Luton,
going okay,
which is, and I've been there before. It will probably be one of the hardest games that
it's compact down there, and it
I'm going to play in this season. After the back of they've been beat 4-0 away at Watford, they're going to want to come out flying, and their manager will. So we've got to be ready for what's going to be coming. Look, we know our pros and cons at the moment. I think everyone knows that. So yeah, it's going to be, the boys are going to have to roll up their sleeves, and I'm going to have to roll up my sleeves at the weekend, and it's going to be a dogfight.
You touched upon it there, Alex. You know, I think a lot of people know where Sunderland are maybe lacking in terms of the squad at the moment, through injuries mainly, isn't it? So what's been done to address that at the training ground? What kind of things has the manager been demanding for the front players at the top?
It's difficult because obviously you've got strikers that obviously are scoring goals, and then we get 2 injuries and we've got no striker. I've played as a 9. Clarkie's played as a 9. We played 2 up front of Clarkie and Pat. It's like
Ahmad's had a go up there as well.
And it's been difficult. These boys are never. But I haven't played as a 9 before, mate. I won't.
Yeah.
So it's been really difficult. But look, these are things I think you just have to deal with as a season. You know, we're going to have issues, and we've had them. You know, I think we've got 4 games left till the break. You look at them 4 games, the fans have to stick with us. It's going to be difficult in these next 4 games, but if we can get some results and stay in and around that table and get to the break and get the boys back, we could have a good go.
I was going to say as well, over we're 15, 16 games in now, and obviously we're covering the games, and I don't see any opposition. Yeah, you look at Burnley at the weekend, you know, Norwich. There's no one you fear. Is that? I think that's the frustration where we've been in all the games. We've had a good bit of the ball, creating opportunities, and that has been the last 5-6 games without a striker as well. Yeah,
I think people point at it. I think we played Blackpool and Preston at home, and I think the performances were really, really good. And we drew 0-0. And people moan about, but we didn't score goals, we didn't score that. But there's teams who have got the best strikers in the world who go and draw a blank at home 0-0, and then the next week don't score and it's 0-0.
I think the fans can see that though, Alex. I think the fans can definitely see a different brand of football under Tony Mowbray. I think the fans can see that some of the players that have been brought in are definitely contributing towards that as well. Yeah. I think the fans come away, even from the game against Burnley, and the fans are coming away and saying, you know what, that first half had me staggered, we were that good, you know, and this is some of the best football Sunderland fans have seen for years. So take something from that, I think.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that was the biggest thing, is getting the fans on board of what that was from last year. It was getting the fans on board. Look, this is what it's going to look like, and obviously we have to perform on the pitch to obviously get them fans with us, and that and having them fans has been absolutely massive. It's an extra number. Mm-hmm. It gives you the extra yard of you want to run back, you want to do the dirty work, and you know, we see it at the weekend. We was 2-0 up, playing against probably one of the best teams in the league, who have been in the Premier League for God knows how many years, and we've been the other way. and we come up against each other. We're 2-0 up at half time, and then we lose 4-2. I think the fans being with us, I think it gives us an extra push, and they've probably seen that we have deflated in that game. So I think with having no strikers and with having certain players, and like you said, the brand of football, I think with the fans and us together getting to the break, I think that's massive.
Yeah, absolutely
Massive.
huge. Can we step back before we go back to current day, Alex? Obviously,
Yeah.
you were massively involved down with what happened at Wembley. You touched upon the fans there. What was that like as an experience for you, playing in front of those fans who have been starved of any kind of success for a long period of time? And, you know, were you having discussions in the dressing room with the other players, and were people, you know, comprehending what they were seeing in the stands? Because as a city, you know, pretty much everyone knew someone who was in London that weekend, and they've been to Wembley many times, and, you know, it hasn't been so good for them. What was it like to play in front of that crowd?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. You see it on the Friday. What did we play on the Saturday or the Sunday? I can't remember. But it was the night before. You see it. They're all over Trafalgar Square, and I'm sitting in my room. I'm like, I've got to go to bed here. I've got a game tomorrow. And it's not just the game. It's like the final. So I'm like trying to go to sleep, and you're obviously thinking you don't get a good night's sleep, and then you're up, and then you. But yeah, I just think it was just a relief. I think maybe for
getting over the line. I think
getting over the line just to see it
a couple of times before, haven't we?
We had the momentum, and I think we knew obviously what Wycombe's game plan was and how they was going to play, and I think we knew how we was going to play, and I was quietly confident. I think everyone was quietly confident in the changing room, but it was just going to execute the plan, and but we did it. It was fantastic for the fans.
When did you know it was going to happen? Was it when Embo strode through and smashed it in?
Yeah, but I think when Embo scored, they actually got on the front foot.
Yeah, they had a
Wycombe,
couple
and
down
we
the
was
wings,
like,
didn't they? Yeah.
digging in. But I think it was as soon as Roscoe scored.
Yeah, I think in general we dominated the game. They had that one chance, and they were Sam Vokes got in, didn't he? And I think Pato was out and smothered him well.
Over. Pato made a great save, and it's a crucial part of the game.
Yeah,
it's obviously, I think it was 1-0.
Yeah,
it was a crucial part of the game. Great save, and then obviously we go and score and make it 2, and it probably could have been
pressure off them,
really.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it was just an amazing weekend especially for the fans. And for
good celebrations after as well.
It was good. It was a very good weekend.
No, I was going to say, we were touchline as well, weren't we? We covered it, and we were 2 yards apart. And I mean, I've played in a lot of stadiums, big crowds and stuff, but the noise on that day, it had me going the apple in my throat. It was up, wasn't it? It was mad, wasn't it? The atmosphere was fantastic. You know, 50,000 fans down there, and to play in front of that, as you say, lads have been there before and come up short, and to be a part of that, I'm sure it was. That'll rank right up there for you.
Yeah, it was, especially I had to have the last 10 minutes just sitting on the bench and not running around, just soaking
enjoying
it. It was probably even better.
Yeah. What's the morale like right now amongst the squad? Many of the squad were in League One last season. Obviously, we've recruited as well, but you know, a good bunch of lads. You know, you've played in quite a few dressing rooms because of some of your loan spells and stuff like that away from Spurs. How would you rank this group of lads?
Up there.
Mm-hmm.
Great bunch of lads, honest.
Mm-hmm.
Hold their hand up when things ain't going right, and take the plaudits when it's going well. Just honest around each other.
Does that go a long way?
100%. Honesty, working hard and reaping your rewards, and then obviously you see certain things and how you bounce back from that, and I think we've done that this year in certain games where you take disappointment from, I don't know, the goalkeeper coming up and scoring, and then the next week going to get a result. But we'll see that throughout the season. We're gonna lose games, but just as this group, you can see that the bounce back is very good. It's a good mentality.
And what about talent-wise? You obviously well documented. You came through with a great bunch of players at your time at Tottenham. What's the talent like in the Sunderland dressing room at the moment?
Very good. Talent is up there, top. But it's getting that fine margin of a young lad. Is you can have the talent, but there's the other side of the game where you need to be focused on certain things. You can have all the talent in the world, but like you said, the old hard work and stuff like that.
The attitude and the graft to go with it as well.
The tactical side of the game, and if you've got the talent, you can work hard and you get better tactically at game. the world's your oyster.
Yeah, exciting stuff. What about in terms of personalities in the dressing room then, Alex? Who's the biggest joker in the dressing room, would you say?
Biggest joker? Mixed, really. Clarkie's up there. Jack
really?
Clark. Biggest joker. Could be annoying sometimes.
Who finds himself on the other end of the jokes a lot?
Probably myself.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Coming
that?
after you.
Are you okay with that?
No, I'm all right. I'm all right with it. I've had one moment of madness where I've had a go. I've
Put your marker down early.
Yeah, I've gone. Nah, that's me. I'm done, and I've left the building early doors. But yeah, it's look, the morale's really good. The lads there's a great mix and bunch of lads. Yeah.
So you don't want to use this podcast to say who's been bullying you then, Alex?
No, not really. But also, it's the other side of the thing. It's away from the pitch as well. I think I've been at football clubs where the boys in the changing room, they play football and that's what they do, and then afterwards it's like nothing. I think here it's like a lot of the lads do things together, which is really good. I think that you get to know people, and like actually you realise like, hold on a minute, like his family's away from him and he's doing stuff like that, so maybe it's difficult for him, he's on his own and stuff like that. I just think that's really good.
It's good for, say, a lot of young lads who've come in, some foreign boys as well, don't know the country.
100%, and it's difficult.
Help them out.
It is difficult, and I think them obviously them boys doing stuff together and stuff like that, it's really good.
Yeah, we've heard recently that you've been doing this psychopath thing, which is coming out, I think, this week or next. I can't reveal too much, but that looked like it could have been fun or scary.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good fun. I went there the other day actually.
Yeah.
With a few people.
So good you went back again, yeah?
Yeah, okay. I did go back again, yeah. Because I only let us do 2 mazes, so I wanted to do the rest. So,
right, okay.
Yeah, no, it was good.
All right, keep an eye out for that, everyone listening to that. So, Alex, you've been here since the summer of 2021. Was, before you came up to live in the Northeast, was it, how you expected, and what do you like about the Northeast of England?
Before I come...
Obviously aware of the clubs up here, I guess.
Of course, you're aware of how big the club is and
what it means to people in the Northeast.
100%, and hard working, and it was, I don't know, when it arose, it was kind of right, just get my teeth stuck in and just have a go, see what happens, and things have snowballed.
You come in on the back of an injury from Huddersfield, is that right? Did you come with an injury?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Right.
I went away, see my contract was finished, they went their separate ways, and I had to go and get a break and go home, and then obviously this aroused, and it was kind of a bit of a reset, really. I think I spoke about that after the game at Wembley. It was a massive reset, start again.
Career wise?
Yeah, mentally wise as well, mental wise.
Did you feel, in terms of pressure, the expectancy from the fans at this level, but in your career, obviously you went to Norwich for around 8 million, Huddersfield for 11 million, that's almost 20 million there in fees.
Yeah.
You hear a lot about, Jack Grealish and other players go for money, big money. Do you feel that as a player yourself? I mean, I only went for pennies back in the day, 3 million, I think I went to Stoke from here, so it wasn't, but...
So what, as in like feeling pressure?
Yeah, as in people say about the price tag, don't they, going with did you feel that at all, or do you think, no, it's nothing to do with me, I'm just going to get on with the football and, what I'm employed to do?
At Norwich, I didn't feel it.
No.
It was fine. At Huddersfield, after a while, it did. I was a bit like, kind of trying to step up in that league, in that Premier League. It's so difficult, and you're trying to step up and it's not working, and then the next week you've got Man United and it's like that didn't work out, and then you go to sleep and then you got Man City. It's like, when are we going to get a point and stuff like that. So mentally it was really, really tough.
Were you given any advice on how to deal with that?
Not really.
Sink or swim. Do or die.
Do you think football needs more help with mental health in that respect then, to keep players like yourself feeling positive going into games?
Possibly. I had a little bit of help, but obviously maybe that was probably on my end. I didn't speak up too much about it. But then if you're looking at the other side of it, well, why has he got an issue? He went for this and he's doing this, so why does he have to have an issue?
Do you feel, Al, when you're younger, and say you've had a game on a Saturday and you below par, you live the game over, don't you, for a few days maybe.
Yeah.
As you get older, you learn to put it to the back of your mind a bit quicker, don't you? Especially if you've got another game coming round as well. That's what I found in my career.
I think it depends on the manner of the defeat.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I think I've had a couple of days after the weekend game, but I think when you're younger, and especially a part of my career when I was at Huddersfield, I think like the defeat and coming away, it was just like before the game even come at the weekend, I was still always thinking about what the last week was and what people would say and stuff like that. It was difficult.
So social media wise as well, now that's obviously took off over the last 10 years or so.
I think everyone knows that.
Do you take a lot of notice of what's going on there? Again, no, put it to the back of your mind.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Just like I said, I'm older now. I just don't deal with negativity. It's just
Because that wasn't really a thing as much as it is now, Danny, when you were playing, was it? The social media
I can't
aspect?
tell you when, because it's one of my quiz questions for Alex in a bit. Yeah,
Okay.
but sort of during my time, no, it wasn't as big then back then, was it? But no, I think a lot of young lads now, you know, they like the praise, and you know, it's there for good things, isn't it? Instagram, Twitter, the lot. Yeah. But at the same time, I think, as you say, if you've had a bad game and don't go on there, or you know, you're going to get people who are going to give you abuse, and you have to have a bit of thick skin and try and learn with it, don't you?
Like the boys are young lads. Like
yeah,
they're not even 20 years old. Some of them.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Playing in front of 40,000.
Because I mean, for instance, you look at Michu, who's coming from PSG, but probably didn't know too much about Sunderland, but he's come in here now. He's had a couple of tasters of it, what it's like out there on a Saturday. And I think eye opener for some of the young boys.
You look at Edouard and you put yourself in his shoes. Come from France, over here, say he's on his own, playing in front of 40,000, hasn't been playing. How tough that must be for him. So it's like, well, mentally that must be difficult for a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Tough.
We've seen some great games here at the Stadium of Light this season, Alex, and in our position, watching the games and commentating on the games, we find ourselves speaking about officials more than we'd probably like to. What's it like being on the pitch, though, and something doesn't go your way, say maybe a penalty decision, and then someone goes up the other end and scores in a big game? And what can be done, do you think, to help officials at this level?
Well, you're obviously talking about the Blackburn game.
Well, we'll use that one as one example, if you like.
On that one, we watched it back, and I said tonight, Jack sort of half appealed. I see you on the penalty spot, you with your hands on the floor, but no one really got round the referee, did they?
Do you know what's really difficult is that you spend your whole week. Listen, I know, like official, I get on really well with officials, but when obviously you go into game mode, you go into a different personality.
Yeah, of course you do.
100%. And they've obviously got a really, really difficult job. I understand that, and they've got no help. Premier League have got help. They've got VAR.
And they still get it wrong.
And they still get this is another question. But what's handball and what's not handball? But you go into hotels. So you go to Blackburn. You stay overnight. You go like boys go away from their families and they work hard. And then you go and you got fans there. They're shouting for you. You're doing everything you can to get a result or get 3 points. You're going away to Blackburn. It's not easy. And you go there. You get a penalty. It's no penalty. Go up the other end, and then Diaz puts one in the top stanch. And you know it's a penalty. Clarkey knows it's a penalty. I'm seeing that. I'm looking at it.
You probably had a good view of that. You know, on the camera as well, it might have looked like was it Hedges? I think it looked like he may have played it that way, but it was obviously off the outside of Jack's boot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you
but
probably
if that's
had a
in the
good
middle
view.
of the park, that's a foul. Now.
Yeah, it probably gives it. Yeah.
And then you see it on the board as well. It goes up on the big board. And
Did they have it on the screen?
It's just difficult to take. But I understand the referee. It's a split second, 100%. But surely with so a club in this league gets promoted and they get how much million? They get 200 million quid to go up in the league.
Yeah.
How can there not be VAR in this league?
Yeah.
Well, do you think in the back of that particular referee's mind was VAR because of the way he dismissed it? There's almost an insurance policy in the Premier League, isn't there? Because if he misses it, then someone else might pick it up.
Yeah, I watched the Man City-Liverpool game the other day and I thought the refereeing was brilliant. Let the game go, fouls, whatnot. Haaland scored, had a look back. It's a foul. Let the game flow. I want to watch a game where it's like at it. I want to see quality. I want to see tackles go in. I want to see
the ball in play. Yeah,
100% the ball in play, and then go back. If it's a foul, it's a foul. Give it. That's VAR. That's what it's there for. So I don't know. With how much riding on this championship season is, I just don't understand how there cannot be. I'm not even saying to an extent of VAR with, like, I don't know, red cards and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, just little decisions, a penalty decision or an offside, for example, Blackburn's second goal.
Yeah.
I'm in the wall with Patrick.
Yeah.
And I'm looking. The ball's gone over my head. I've looked round, and the guy is in front of the whole back four, and I'm like, even if he doesn't touch it, surely he's interfering with.
I think he's even looking down at, when we were looking down at Patrick's right boot, as you like, at his foot, but then surely the linesman can take off the stripe of the pitch, can't you? You could see he was closer to there, so it's frustrating.
And then from then it's 2-0. It's a real uphill battle. 1-0, okay, you made a mistake, is what it is. You could get to 1-1 maybe, but 2-0 uphill battle done. Maybe two decisions, but look, I know it's difficult for referees, but maybe they need help.
Yeah, I think maybe it needs improvement in terms of allowing people in the ground to know what's happening as well. The VAR I'm talking about here as well. I mean, there's many times the Premier League games are stopped, aren't they? And people are like,
3-4 minutes, and it feels like an eternity.
There's people in the ground. What's it like for players then? You know, if those decisions are taking so long, I mean, it needs ironing out, doesn't it?
It does. I think the handball one's massive as well. Obviously, I watched the West Ham game last night, and they scored with a handball. And I'm a West Ham fan, so I'm like, yeah, that's a goal. But it's handball.
Yeah, not like whether it leads directly to the...
Was the
they're
rule last
making
year,
rules up, aren't they?
The rule last year was like any part of the hand, doesn't matter where or when in the box, it's a penalty or something. But now it's like, because the first phase of the ball, when it come off, it didn't interfere with the goal. It's like, it's just like it's like just another rule next year.
Adding rules onto it, aren't they? Yeah.
It's like difficult.
I think we'd like to get to know you a little bit better here now on Unfiltered. It's what we like to try and do with the podcast. Where should we start? Halloween's coming up. Have you got a favourite scary film? Are you a fan of?
I like scary.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I like all like the series and like scary stuff. But
all-time favourite scary film then? I mean, there is Halloween. The new one's just come out as well.
Oh, yeah,
that's
Halloween.
quite a scary one.
So with them Paranormal Activity ones they've done me in a few years back.
Yeah, I hate that. I mean, I can't even watch scary films.
I watched one of them late at night in the house once. I think it was the first one. So the second one, it was when it came out the cinema. I went in the afternoon, so it was daylight when it came out.
I don't mind it. I really don't. I don't mind it. I think it's quite cool.
Yeah. Okay then. Another quick one from me. What kind of music do you like?
All sorts of music, except for I want like heavy metal and all that kind. That's not a bit me.
No.
But
Who's the DJ? Changing rooms then? Who
I think
steps up.
Who stepped up this year from last year? I think Clarkey come in the building and started to wind his way in. Right. And I think Bowser's obviously before, so he was. But Bowser's like, oh yeah, go on, you take. So it's all pretty different, really.
But what kind of stuff then? What kind of stuff's getting blasted out?
A bit of Drake, a bit of
hip hop, mainly hip hop.
A bit of Ibiza kind of music vibes, and stuff like that. Yeah, quite cool.
You like that kind of thing?
Yeah, don't mind it.
Yeah. Big club fan, are you? If you get the chance?
No, I'm a day. I'd rather the daytimes.
All right then. Okay. Yeah. So Danny knows about all that kind of thing. Don't you get a table down at Marbs and all that?
Moons ago, mate. Do you want me to crack on?
You can do some quizzing if you want.
Quiz him? Okay.
So just in case you don't know, like we do the quiz at the end. Alex, you must be aware of this. The person who's suffered worst on this is Christian Speakman. He got 9 out of 5 once, didn't he?
Five quiz questions, mixed bag, a couple of sport ones.
Gucci's the best so far.
Gucci 5 out of 5 last year. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Then he came into the room. No good at quizzes, and bang, 5 out of 5. So yeah, he was up there. Luke done okay, didn't he? Luke, 3 or 4 out of 5 maybe. But yeah, mixed bag.
What are you going to say I'm going to get?
At least 3. At least 3.
Pressure.
A little bit of pressure.
Pressure on Pritch. Take it away, Danny.
Right. Question number 1. Easy one about you, Al. Who did you make your Sunderland League debut against last season?
Oh. Deep in thought for the listeners.
League debut. Did I come off the bench or did I start?
You come off the bench. 28 minutes you got.
I bet I was blowing.
Do you want me to give you the score or not yet? No? Give you another.
No, go on, give me the score.
2-1. We won 2-1.
Was it here?
It was away.
It was away.
Was it away?
I can't give you any more. The only other word I've got is the name of the team, so I can't help you.
Away from home?
Away from home, and we won 2-1, and you played 28 minutes.
Do you know it?
He's after clues in the room.
He's asking Dan from the media department for a clue there.
How long we got? This is quick fire questions.
No,
I've got a couple of quick
fire. I mean, I'll have to heavily edit this down, the amount of pauses you're taking, by the way, but...
No, I ain't got a clue. Accrington Stanley.
MK Dons away.
MK Dons
MK
away.
Dons away, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think you were on the bench against Wigan at home, but you didn't come on.
Yeah.
And then
I come in.
Then we went away.
No.
Yeah.
That's
So
bad
Ross
from me.
Ross won the penalty, didn't he? Do you remember
Yeah.
when the lad cut across and clipped his
Yeah,
heels? and-
Embo scored that day as well.
That's
didn't
it.
He? Ah.
Ah,
So
right.
That's none.
Yeah.
That's none so far.
You thought I'd get that as well, didn't you?
I thought you'd have known that one. Players usually like bang on them, but
Nah,
no.
just
Right, number 2,
always looking forward.
Yeah, exactly. Positive.
social media. I'll give you a multi-choice on this one, Al. So, what year was Twitter launched? Was it 2006, 2007, or 2008?
Oh, they're quite close, Danny.
2008.
It was the 21st of March, 2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago, that.
Everyone's going to be guessing that. You'd
a
have guessed that, wouldn't you?
I would have guessed.
Yeah.
Did you know that
I mean,
one,
I
Dan?
wouldn't know none of that. As Dan, who's in
Oh,
charge
as
of...
he's going away on his keyboard. He's
Social media.
Looks after the social media for the club, but he did not know that one.
Right, so that's none out of 2, right? Great start.
Right, hat-trick to finish, Al.
Yeah.
Number 3, in which sport would you find the net set to a height of 1.55 metres?
1.55. What's that?
Which sport is the net set to 1.55 metres?
How tall would that be?
Well, how many meters are you?
I ain't got a clue.
1 and a bit, probably. How many are you?
I'm
Probably
about
are you
1
2
point-
meters?
I'm 1.7.
That's quite big,
Yeah.
2 meters, isn't it?
So the top of the net is just sort of here on me.
Stand
Do
up
you
for me.
want to
Yeah, stand up.
Right, Danny's standing up now in front of Alex, and he's trying to show how high approximately
It's not
that
tennis, it's not
height
tennis,
is.
then,
It's not
it's
tennis. What? Who's
So
got a
it's-
net that big?
All right, so is it
What sport
It's
is
a
that?
racket sport.
badminton?
It is badminton.
Yeah, there you
He's
go.
off and running.
Oh,
Badminton.
right.
I was
see.
going to say that.
Good shout. He's off and running. There we go. Badminton.
Yeah. Question number
But
4.
when you said racket, I was going to say volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah, I was
But then
thinking.
badminton
Yeah.
too, just
Well done.
racket.
Help him out, didn't I?
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
off the
there you
mark.
Next
Que-
one.
Question number 4, TV. In which couple won Love Island 2022?
Ekin Su and Davide, right?
It's correct.
Oh, obviously a big fan. Favorite TV show was it?
Straight in.
Yeah, but I don't watch the first couple of weeks because it's boring.
And do
Because
you-
you've obviously got the people that go on there,
Yeah.
and then they're gone within a week.
Yeah.
But then you've got the people that stay that have got a bit bam. So I'll give it 2 weeks and then.
Do you vote?
No, do I? Not a chance. Not a chance. Actually, we've done it every night when we was away in pre-season. All the boys would go to my room, sit there, and
Really?
Watch Love Island.
Yeah. How sad is that?
Who do you think would be good from the Sunderland squad to go on Love Island? Who was most likely to go on Love Island?
What,
from
and
the
win it?
Maybe, or even just compete.
I think mixed bag, bit of comedy about them. Fancies himself as a bit of a
who's got the
ladies' man.
personality for Love Island?
Oh, everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, I'd win that. No, you wouldn't.
Who could you see on there? Come on.
Who would you go
If I'm
with?
looking at
Dennis
the
Serkin.
squad,
Would you go with Dennis?
Dennis would do all right on there.
I think he's
wouldn't
got a good
He'll be
physique.
out within a week.
Really?
Oh, I don't know.
What else are you looking at? Go through some of the younger lads now.
It shouldn't be this
I'm
hard.
sure.
Surely it shouldn't be this hard. We've got a lot of handsome lads in there.
We'll have to come back to that. Have a think for a minute.
Have a think
Like a
about
bit of banter and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
like
that
that.
as well. Clarkey, would he fancy himself in there as a bit of a
I think
Bit
he'd
of a
crumble.
lad.
I think he'd crumble.
Jack the lad?
I think he'd crumble.
Would he?
Yeah.
Right, next question, Dan.
Right. He's gone back to backs anyway.
Oh, yeah, he's done well there.
back
Yeah.
to backs. First time this season, Al.
Hopefully we get one soon.
Yeah.
Number 5. Which global brand has used the slogan "Impossible is nothing" since 2004?
Adidas.
Is he there?
He's right, Adidas, yeah.
Well
Or
done.
Adidas, whichever way you want to go,
Adidas.
yeah. So
Adidas. I say Adidas. He says Adidas.
finished strong there, hasn't he?
It's Adidas.
Do
Do you say Nike or Nike?
I would say Nike. You're going to say Nike, aren't you?
No, Nike.
Nike. There you
Nike,
go.
yeah.
Okay,
Nike.
all right then.
Nike and Adidas for me.
So 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Finished strong, didn't he?
That's pretty good.
I'll
Good
take
finish
that,
there. Yeah.
Yeah, middle of the road, not bad.
So we're going to look forward here at the end
Yep.
of the podcast now, Alex. You've touched upon it from the very beginning. You said, this squad's got potential. And, you're right. We haven't been that far away in most of the games we've competed in this season. But what are the realistic, ambitions for this squad? Could we
I mean,
do something like, playoff wise or?
I know. I
Because
think
if someone wins 2 games in this league right now and the results go their way, Yeah, you can go from top to bottom.
Yeah,
It's so tight.
I get that. I think you've got to kind of take it and say, I think we've got like I've gone back to, I think we've got 4 games, get to the break. I don't think we're going to do
Reassess from
anything
there.
without any strikers. That's a given. You've got 4 games, get to the break, and get the squad back of what we had probably at the start of the season.
Well, Ellis was back out there today, wasn't he? So
Ellis
he's
is back
close
out
for
there.
the
It's
weekend,
massive,
maybe.
it's
So
massive
yeah,
for us.
play
It's
off him
massive
as well.
for us.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you're obviously feeling optimistic about the people around
Yeah,
you.
100%. I think the group's brilliant. And look, we've got a lot of injuries. You know, it's difficult when you've got a lot of injuries and you've got good players that are injured.
What about yourself, Al? Did you set yourself any goals or targets for the season, assists or goals? Or last one was that back-to-back free kicks last season, wasn't it? Cheltenham and
Yeah, it would be nice. It would
Wimbledon.
be nice, but like it's difficult because the more you think about it, the more it becomes an issue for myself. So it's kind of, do I set targets? Not really.
Would you say, from our point of view, I think looking at yourself, Embleton, I said to Dan Neal after Saturday, you should all be 8 to 10 if you play 35 games plus in a season. 8 to 10 realistically with the talent, Jack and Patrick as well.
I mean, if it's 8 to 10 with every single one of them, you're getting promoted, really.
Well,
aren't you?
yeah, do you know what I mean? And you
But
strike
it's
your
not
main
that
man
easy.
getting 20, one of your strikers
Yeah.
get you 20 goals and then you lads chipping in.
I mean, obviously, when I was younger, I had that. I think I had that. at
12
Norwich
in
and stuff.
47 at Brentford.
Yeah, so
Peak season.
So obviously it's
Yeah.
there. But yeah, I don't really set targets. Obviously, it's do it game by game. Every game's different. You play against different opposition and different style of play, and you have to change your game accordingly to who you're playing. Really, like you said, when we played against Reading. Obviously, we had no strikers, and we need to play football through the thirds, and we did that.
Can you not just do that goal every week? Because it's pretty
Yeah,
special.
that's going to be one every 2-3 years. But yeah, it was a great goal. Yeah, I don't really set targets. It's just, I think you just take game by game. I think it's more as us as a collective, really.
Yeah.
I think individuals there's always going to be diamonds in the rough in a group
Yeah.
that do really well and go on to do good things. And 100%, that's
Because I
absolutely.
suppose from your point of view as well, Al, that obviously you're probably a number 10 is your favourite position. Would you say? I know you've played on the left a couple of times earlier on. Shrewsbury last year, you free kick, you bent one in that far corner, but you need that striker. It's not just the goals from the strikes, that bounce pass, isn't it? Just lending it to him as opposed to at the minute you're becoming that striker really.
Yeah,
I'm back to play. It's a different game for you.
I'm
Is
the
it?
guy that has to win the headers up front. And it's like, yeah. No, obviously it is massive having that focal point, especially I think when we scored a goal against QPR, I think it was. Ball went up to Ellis. I've got the seconds, gone through and Ellis has scored. Like them sort of things. You can play football all you want, but then you're going to play against a team that's going to press you really high and really good. So you need an out ball. You need to go long sometimes. You have to relieve pressure. And when you've got the likes of Ellis, Roscoe up front, you have that. You can relieve that pressure. And obviously teams are going to fear that.
Yeah.
So they're obviously going to set off. So that means you can play through the first, and you can play to the likes of me, Embo, Pat, Clarkey, Edward, all these kind of players that will actually want to come get the ball and get in the pockets. So it creates a massive different dimension to our game of what we got. And at the moment we don't have that. So we have to deal with what we got. Like it's just football.
Yeah, I suppose that was the story Saturday, going back to Saturday again. First off, we managed to pop through him. Your involvement in the first goal, you jinked past a couple, then we're into them. But second half, I thought Jack done quite well actually. Balls come up to him at times, trying to retain it.
Yeah.
But you could see they pressed us a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, we couldn't get out, could we? We found it difficult
it's
second
that
half.
maybe you can go a bit longer, you can go up to the target man, you can buy fouls, take your time and stuff like that. But yeah, we are where we are. I'm pretty happy with where we are. I think everyone could be quite content of how we've performed. Maybe we should have a lot more points than what we could. 100%. I sit there and think, well, what if we had the strikers available up to now, and what happens if the QPR game we don't go and concede from a goalkeeper, and what happens if someone don't get sent off?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's just football.
Yeah, fine margins, but I think
Fine margins.
the encouraging thing is, I think the fans can see that you're playing good football and there's good, you've got a good atmosphere in the dressing room, which goes a long way. A word on the fans then to finish them, Alex. You've mentioned, what it feels like to play in front of them, but just how important are they this season?
Yeah, I just think the fans are different. If that's I don't know if that's. I just think they're different compared to other clubs I've been at and what other stadiums I've played at, and they're just a different animal.
Even the away fans at sell out wherever we go type of thing, isn't 100%. It? It's just getting behind you.
100%. Look, we could go to somewhere this year and lose 2-0, and you can work 110% and they will clap you off. If you go somewhere and lose 2-0 and you give 80%, you're going to get it in the air, 100%. And I like it like that. That's the way it should be. Like you go back to when I first come here, they're hard-working guys and girls, and we just got to give 110% for them, and they'll give it back to us.
So then, Danny, that was Alex Pritchard speaking to us here on SAFC Unfiltered. Seems like a great guy, a great person to have amongst the squad, a great talent as well. You know, one of the fan favourites out of all the squad. Really good conversation, really honest conversation. And he said, it's an honest squad we've got here. Yeah,
no, it was a good chat with him, and we've spoke to him briefly before one of the games last season, and he tells it as it is. He's honest. And I think it shows in his performances as well. He's out there as a talented sort of number 10 really to create for us, but it's the work rate he puts in as well. That's what I like about him. He goes and presses. He never stops going. Yeah, he comes off towards the game, maybe gets 70, 80 minutes under his belt and comes off a lot of the time, but that's because he's put a lot in during the games. And I think he's been a good addition to the squad. Maybe I said there, he can start chipping in with a few more goals like some of the other boys, but I'm sure that'll come between now and the end of the season. But no, from what I gather there, it looks like he's enjoying his time at the club.
And the games are coming thick and fast before the break for the World Cup. He touched upon the striker issue. Everyone's talking about it, but they've got to find a way to win games, haven't they, in these 4 games before the break?
They have, yeah. It's frustrating. I think that's the biggest word I would use, because we're in a great position. I think we've played overall generally some good football. I think the fans can see that. We've really played some good stuff this season so far. Maybe haven't got the results we deserved at times, and the rub of the green, as you mentioned, referees again. But no, we've got to stick in there. And Alex mentioned there, we've been without a striker now for several games. We have scored goals. Yeah, we had a couple of back-to-back 0-0s here, but we've seen Ellis out there this afternoon, so it's a big plus. He tucked a few away in the training session, so hopefully he'll be out there Saturday, maybe if he feels ready to go from the start, or certainly off the bench. And then you're looking after that 4-game break. After, can we get Ross back out there as well? So big options for Tony Mowbray, who you just mentioned there. He's had it tough since he come in. He loses his 2 front men early on. We've lost other players. Lyndon's come out with an injury. Elise as well last week. So he's a few lads have dropped out, but we've had to get on with it. And overall, I think they've done really well, the boys. Yes,
exciting times in the coming weeks here at Sunderland Football Club. We'll be back soon with another edition of SAFC Unfiltered, sponsored by Alpha Security. So don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast platform